everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this video I will be showing you how you can recreate this ice cream cone right here. So this is extremely easy to make as well, but with a little practice and with a lot of patience you can also make different variations of this ice cream, right? So in this tutorial I will be using this illustration as a reference and we'll be making a similar version out of this, right? Okay, so the first things we have to do is to create a new document. So when you open your Adobe Illustrator for software, you will get this option on the side to create a new document, right? So let's do that first. So this is one pop-up that will come up on your screen. So for this video, I will be sticking to this A4 size document, and as you can see, the dimensions have been given right here, which is 210 millimeters by 297 millimeters, and I will stick to the this portrait orientation, and over here I will rename the document to ice cream cone. Right, so let's begin. Alright, so before I start, I would also like to make sure that I'm in the right format, right? So in case if you guys are not able to see all these tools right here on your screen, make sure that you are in the Essentials Classic options right here. Then it'll be a lot easier for you to work with these tools right here. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is when we make this cone, this biscuit cone, we have to first name our layers, right? So because this illustration itself has 2-3 elements to this, which includes the cone, the ice cream, and the sauce on each scoop, right? So for that, I will be breaking it down, right? So in the first layer right here, I will rename this, and if you double click on the layers panel, and you can easily rename the layer. So I'll rename this to cone. So on this layer, I will be making the cone, and I will make another layer for this, and in the layer 2 right here, I'll double click on this and rename this to ice cream scoop. Okay, so this will actually help you to make your illustrations even more better. And yeah, okay, so the first things I will do is I'll highlight this cone layer right here and I'll start making the cone. First things I will do is I will go over here to this rectangle tool, and I do not need the fill for now. I'll just click on this none, and I'll let the stroke be the way it is, black, right? So I'll first click and drag my mouse like that to make this shape, and if I go over here to the direct selection tool, you see these circles in front of these points, right? So this will actually help me to round off the edges, right? So if I just click on any one of these circles and just bring them all in like that, and this rectangle now gets an rounded edge on both these sides, right? I'll go back to the selection tool and make this a little bit more thinner like that by just clicking and dragging my mouse like that. Okay, now I have to make the cone like here, this triangle that is supposed to come here, right? So I'll go back here to this shape tool, click on the star tool, and if I just click and drag my mouse, you can see a star is being made. But I don't want a star, I want a triangle, right? So you can easily do that. So if you're just holding your mouse and without letting it go, just click on the down arrow key on your keyboard twice and the rectangle now gets changed, the star now gets changed to this triangle like that. So you can just click and drag on how big you want your triangle to be, and we'll just let it be like that. And I'll just bring this over here to right below this rounded rectangle shape, right? So as you can see, it's not centrally aligned. So I'll just select these two and go over here to this align panel and click on horizontal align center. And you can see now it's perfectly aligned, right? So let's edit this even further. I'll zoom in and I'll rotate this a little bit more so that it matches. So it's like that. Okay. So now what I have to do is I have to round this edge right here, this point right here. I'll go back to the direct selection tool and just click on this point. So when I just select one point, this anchor point turns blue. So only this will get rounded, right? So I'll click on the circle and just bring it up like that, right? I'll select this anchor point and bump it up a little so that it matches along with the line above. Similarly over here with the middle anchor point, and just one tiny step like that. Okay, looks a lot better now. And now what we have to do is that we also have to create this second rectangle right here. Okay, so to do that, I will, once this is made, I'll just bring this down a little, go back to the rectangle tool and make another rectangle like that. I'll go back to the direct selection tool, click on this one anchor point, and with the help of the right arrow key, I'll just click on this once and I'll click on this a couple of times, and you can see that it becomes inwards, right? Similarly with the other anchor point, I'll select that, and with the left arrow key, I'll bring this inwards as well, like that, right? I do not need that. Okay, I'll bring this down and this looks fine, and I'll just bring this on top like that. I'll also resize this a little bit more, and okay, and bring this up, and now you can see this triangle doesn't properly fit with this rectangle we just made, right? So similarly we can do the same thing by clicking on this one anchor point. So make sure that you are using the direct selection tool to bring the points inwards or outwards, right? And just make sure you select which anchor point you want to bring it inside, right? Similarly, I'll just align it like that. Similarly on the other side like that. Okay, it looks a lot better. Just one minute width. Make sure I'm selecting the right anchor point to do that. Yeah. No, wait. Okay, here a little so that I can see a lot better. This one. Yeah. And this one right here. Okay, now it's a lot better. And just bring this upwards. Done. Okay, now the next thing we have to do is to create these crisscross lines, right? Okay, so to do that, I'll go to this line segment tool and just create a line across like that. Go back to the selection tool and make multiple copies out of it. So to do that, make sure that you're clicking the Alt button on your keyboard and click and drag your lines like that. So you can go ahead and select these. You can go ahead and select these 3 lines and keep making multiple copies out of it like that. So it's okay if it's not perfect and it's not coming out to be symmetrical. I just want these crisscross lines to be there. And in case if any line is coming out to be too short, we can extend that as well. So like for example this one, I'll select this, go back to my direct selection tool, click on this one anchor point and just bring this forward like that. And wait, yeah, okay. So I'll select these lines again and I want to make another copy out of it, but on the other direction. Right, to do that, once all these lines are selected, we go to the object, transform and reflect. When we do that, you get this option and we'll see how it looks like. So this is how I want it to be. So I'll make sure that the vertical option is selected, and with the preview I can see how it's going to be copied in which direction. I'll just click on copy. That's it. So now you can just adjust it accordingly how you want it, like that. And if I zoom in, so let's also just extend some of these lines right here, like that. This one as well, like that. Okay, now once this is made, let's delete all the excess lines that we do not require. I'll select all of this, go over to the shape builder tool, and if I click on Alt, this plus sign beneath my cursor changes to minus, and we can just drag our mouse like that to get rid of the lines we do not need. And that, you can also select and delete. So the portions that we do not need, it becomes red, especially with the lines like that, if you notice. And this takes a little time, but you can see we are nearly there. This, that, this line, that line. I'll zoom in more. There's some more lines over here. That, and just one tiny line over there. That, and done. And there you go. We have made the crisscross lines to make it more like a biscuit cone right here. Okay. So I'll go ahead and lock this layer so that when I make the ice cream scoops, it does not interfere with the cone that I'm making, and I don't accidentally delete anything out of this, right? So I'll go over here and I'll highlight this. So this layer, ice cream scoops, is now been activated, right? So we can now easily make our ice cream scoops. I'll go back here to this shape tool, go to ellipse, click on Shift and Alt and drag my mouse to make the size of my scoop, like that. So over here you can see there are 3 scoops. You can stick to 3 or add as many as you want. So let's place them all over here like that. I'll make another one. Select Alt and make a copy like that. Wait. Alt copy and make one on top like that. Okay, so this looks good. Now what we have to do is make the sauce, this sauce that's on the ice cream scoops, right? So once we have made the ice cream scoops, I'll have to just space them out so it's easier for me to make the sauce. Okay, so for the sauce I will be using this pen tool and go over to any of these scoops and just start making the sauce, right? So you've seen how sauce, when it's added to the ice cream scoops, it kind of drips on all the sides, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It can be a little messy, and that's okay. Just keep going. And like that. Okay, so once that's made, you can either, if you want, you can manipulate this even further to make sure it falls with the ice creams like that. Okay, so now once this is made, oops, I can copy it on the other two ice cream scoops as well. I'll choose the sauce, click on Alt, and then just drag it on top of my other two ice cream scoops as well. Okay, like that. So in case if you're having a little trouble with the Alt key to make different copies, you can just copy paste it with Ctrl C and Ctrl V. That's also another way to make a different copy like that. So let's also manipulate this a little bit more like that. You can see how you want your ice cream sauce to drip. That, like that. So I'll select this anchor point and like that. Okay, so it's okay if it's looking a little messy right now, but once we fill it in with colors, it'll look a lot better, I promise. Okay, so now we can just select our ice cream cones and then place them however you want, like that. And let's just place this one on top like that. So once that's done, we can go ahead and add colors. So we'll start with the ice cream scoops first. So we'll select the circles and add whatever color you want, right? So it's okay if it's coming out to be like this, don't worry. And let's give this yellow. And let's give this light blue. Now with the sauce, okay, I'll select this portion and give it a light pink and give this one to be slightly orangish and this one to be a little dark blue like that. Okay, so it looks good. So in case if you want to send a particular sauce or a particular illustration behind another illustration, we can do that. So for example with this one, right? So I'll select this sauce, right click, and this arrange option comes up and we just say send to back. But the sauce actually goes right behind the scoop and we can't see it. So I'll undo this right click, arrange, send to backward, and there you go. Right. So now that's done, I can go ahead and also delete the stroke. I don't want the stroke, so I'll just click on this dashed line none, and that's it. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Similarly, I'll just lock this for now, go back to the cone, and let's start filling in it with colors. Right, so the first thing we'll do is I'll select this and this one as well, and let's give it a nice brown shade. I'll actually make this top one a little bit more darker, one shade darker like that. And what I'll do is I'll select all these lines. Since it's black, let's give these lines brown color as well. Right, select these and I'll select this outline as well. I will change the stroke to a dark brown like that, and when you let go, it becomes like that. And probably I'll fill it in with the same color as well. Wait, whoop. Yep, there you go. It looks a lot better now, doesn't it? Similarly, I'll just select this one and this one. I do not need the black outline out of this, and just select none. That's it. I'll unlock this ice cream layer as well. Select these and just bring them a little bit more down like that. I'll select this portion again, and we have to make this portion come ahead of these ice cream scoops, right? So again, right click, arrange, and bring to front. So in case if you feel that this is not happening and you're struggling to see how it's happening, don't worry. What we can do is, another alternative to do that is just drag this cone layer on top of the ice cream layer like that. Okay, so this layer, then these two layers get combined into one, right? So now we can just go ahead and manipulate this, see how you want your ice creams to be placed like that. Okay, if we want, we can also just resize these a little, or just probably let it be the way it is for now. Okay, and one last thing that we have left to do is to add a cherry. Right, I'll go back here to this ellipse tool, and the fill is brown for now, so I'll just go over here and choose red. Okay, and click and drag to make a small cherry like that. Done. And just bring it forward like that. So before I save, I feel that this cone is a little too big and we can add more ice cream scoops to this, right? So select one of the ice cream scoops and we can make more copies out of it. So let's add another one over here. And it's okay if this is happening. This usually happens. Wait. Arrange, send to back. Okay, and just let's select this one as well, make another one over here. Similarly, send this. Oops. Let's manipulate this and select this, arrange, send to back, this and this, Control C, Control V, And let's add one more over here. Really send to back, and just another one. Control C, Control V, and just add another one right here, and we'll send this to back as well. Okay, so let's also change this one, right? So this is pink. I'll change the icing or the sauce to a darker shade of purple, like that. And there you go. Now we now have an ice cream scoop with more ice cream scoop, and this illustration is ready. So now last thing we have to do is save our document, right? So to do that, we'll go to File, click on Save As, and save our document in our desktop or in any file you want to save it in, right? So by default, it comes as ice cream cone because that's the name we had given to our document. You can name it the way it is or just add numbers to make different variations. And by default, our document will be saved in an Adobe Illustrator file. And I'll click on Save. And just click OK. And that's it. Our ice cream cone is now ready. And with a little practice, you can make different variations out of it. And probably even make different types of ice cream, such as ice cream on a stick as well. Right? So now that we've come to the end of this tutorial, I hope you found this video to be useful. And as you can see, we've only used geometric shapes and simple lines and just played around with colors, and that's it. So thank you for watching and keep practicing.